Hey, my beautiful people. The Catholic Church has decided to start off their ritual season, which starts in September, with adding another chapter to the Conjuring franchise. On September 5th in theaters, The Conjuring: The Last Rite will be released and is based off of a real family, the Smurl family and the Smurl Hauntings. So I decided this time, let's do a channeling before the movie comes out. I want to tell y'all what's true and what's not true with the Smurl haunting. First of all, I do not know how much information that they are going to put in this movie, but I did do my research on the Smurl hauntings. So, this new chapter of The Conjuring is based off the Smurl family, who in 1974, they moved to West Pittston, Pennsylvania. Now, for me, the first clue that this story is probably very embellished is because it's stating that the family dealt with these hauntings in this house from 1974 through 1979. Now, I'm about to go down a list of things that the family experienced. And based off this list, there is no way in Heliante that anybody would put up with some type of haunting that long. This family moved to West Pittston, Pennsylvania after they had lost their home due to a flood. One of the people's parents lived with them, and so they helped the family get a new place by purchasing a duplex. And there were two duplexes, and they purchased both of them. So the in-laws stayed in one, and the family stayed in the other. Now, in my research, it says that there were already stories going on about this particular place, but not too many people like mentioned it in the town. It's kind of like rumors circulating around. People would say that they would see people peeping through the curtains. They would hear screaming all the time. Police would be called out because they thought there were like invasions, people like, staying there that shouldn't be, that kind of stuff. But they never found anything. Now, when the families moved into the duplexes, everything was going fine with them. They say they had no problems. They adjusted to the community very well. They were well liked, very known. Everything was going good. It wasn't too long after they moved in that they started seeing apparitions. It went from apparitions to things catching on fire. Now, mind you, these duplexes were very old and the family put money into remodeling the duplexes. They stated that the first incident was when they remodeled their bathroom. They woke up the next morning and the tub and the sink were scratched beyond repair. Let's pause for a second before I get into the other stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, it takes a lot of energy for a spirit to do something physically, meaning to write, to tear something up, to pick up something. Just keep that in mind. I mean, a lot of energy for that to happen. And typically when that happens, you're dealing with a poltergeist. Next, the family says that things started catching on fire. The TV, things in the kitchen. Also that lights were crashing down. Things start going missing. Things missing is practical. Things catching on fire, I would say an electrical issue. Again, it takes energy for spirits to do things like this, and it's going to be a poltergeist. Things got so bad that they were calling Catholic priests, friends of the family that were Catholic priests, and they were coming through, and they say they weren't seeing anything that was going on unusual, so they refused to take it to the higher Catholic church or perform any exorcism. So now we get Ed and Lorraine Warren. They say they kind of felt violated when Ed and Lorraine Warren came in because they said they were questioned about a lot. Like, do they mess with Ouija boards? Do they call on spirits? Has anything happened like this? But, they felt like they were just like, under some type of like questioning, like things were their fault. So Ed and Lorraine Warren get to work. So here comes Lorraine. She's saying that she sees 4 spirits. Okay. I think she said she's seen 2 men, 1 woman, and an entity. Here's where we fact check. Only one. The only one that was there that I saw in my mediumship channeling was a black smoke like fog, which the Smurls did admit to seeing. No other spirits did I pick up on in the house. Now, here comes Ed, being the infamous demonologist that he thinks he is, saying that this black smoke, this cloud is a demon. Let's fact check. That's not a demon. The black cloud was just that, an entity, a black cloud. Very dark, very evil. Let me give you a background. Typically when you see things like this, they come with the person. Now, the family said that the entity was able to travel from house to house, meaning that it would go to the in-laws. Let's fact check. That is true. I did see the black smoke, the black cloud traveling through the walls. It mostly like to stay close to the walls. They said that they also saw like lights coming down, crashing, like I think like a ceiling light or something like that. I didn't see that, but I did see that there was one particular room that they could never turn the lights off. So if you have not realized, Ed lied again. There's no demon in the house. And we refer to them as daemons, and daemons, they don't do things like this. Now, time goes on, and the Warrens start to get sick from trying to help this family. This came after Ed decided to do an exorcism. I tell y'all that exorcisms do not work. You have to get to where it is. In this particular case, I saw that this black cloud was attached to the father. If you listen to the story and look at the research, the father was the one that had a lot of things happening, and he seemed to be like the culprit of it starting. So with that being said, I saw him and one of his small daughters that seemed to be being led into this mess, into this chaos, meaning something was leading them to be able to participate with this black cloud and also embellish and tell these stories of things happening. That tells me right there, since they were being led, that Ed and Lorraine Warren were behind this. Why were they behind this? Because they gained a lot of money. They made books. They did seminars based off this family, just like they did with the family in the Conjuring of The Devil Made Me Do It. There were so many skeptics. Other people who dealt with the paranormal said these type of things don't happen. How I'm breaking it down to you guys is science behind this stuff. And in like when you're dealing with poltergeists and things of that nature, how they describe it just don't happen that way. They also said that their bodies were being elevated. That's not happening. That means that the spirit actually have to pick your body up, or the poltergeist, and that takes energy. If a poltergeist wants to do something to you, they're going to like swing at you. They're going to hit you. How do I know this? Because I've dealt with poltergeists. They may throw things at you, which they said that happened. But when I did this channeling, I didn't see any of that. This black cloud, this black smoke, like I said, is something that was with the father. And when you see something like that, it's something that it wants from you. It's typically like torture. An entity is torture. So typically entities will come back like that if they need you to do something that the family, your ancestors did not do, and they're trying to get it from you. Also, with all the people being skeptical, there was someone who did reach out to the family. The Warrens had the family turn them down, and the family started saying they were not going to get any more help from anybody unless it's the Warrens. This was true. I saw the father turn down the help to somebody else that seemed to be more practical than the Warrens, that was trying to give them a practical solution to help them. If you have not figured it out, I said that the father and the little girl were led astray to come up with these embellishments. The Warrens did this. The Warrens are not real. I too was a Conjuring fan. But after doing this channeling, I don't think that I'm going to go see the movie, because I don't want to give my money, because they have made money by telling lies, by embellishing. I will say one thing is that the Catholic Church, they stayed clear of this. Anybody that was within the church were friends of Ed and Lorraine Warren, but they stayed clear of this one, because this one was very like, you got to be kidding me, like y'all are a joke. Now, had they would have caught somebody like me, what would have been done? You have to drive it out, okay? But in this particular situation, you ultimately have to give it what it wants. So what would I have done? I would have channeled the entity to see, what do you want with this family? What do you need them to give you? Now, it had not been an entity and a spirit. Spirits can never be destroyed, but you can drive them out from a place by doing things in the home to rid of them. They did a exorcism on the house, which was like negative, did not have to be done, and did not work. They eventually said that they did a mass exorcism where people all over the world prayed and stuff like that. They said things got better, but then it came back. So according to them, nothing ever helped the issue. Once again, Ed and Lorraine Warren are exposed. They're liars. I'll leave it up to you if you want to see the movie, but I just gave you fact checked what's actually true.